All right, picture this annual headache for any big retailer. Months spent planning inventory, expecting a massive rush for coats, winter stuff leading into the holidays. Warehouses are packed.
Right, ready to go.
But then, bam, December rolls around and it's weirdly warm, like t-shirt weather almost.
Happens more and more.
Exactly. And what's the result? They're suddenly drowning in stock nobody wants right now, huge markdowns just to move it, killing margins, plus all the cost of just holding on to it. It's a nightmare.
Oh, absolutely. That's the tightrope walk of seasonal retail, isn't it? It's this constant fight against, well, uncertainty. You've got unpredictable shoppers. You've got weather that seems to change its mind constantly.
So the old way didn't work, just looking at last year's numbers.
Well, yeah, traditionally forecasting was very backward-looking. What sold this time last year, maybe you'd smooth it out with some basic growth assumptions. But that kind of static historical view, you just can't keep up when things are changing this fast. It breaks down.
And what we're seeing in our sources today is that the fix isn't just like finding a forecasting genius. It's about bringing in sophisticated AI.
That's it.
We're talking AI copilots using really advanced tech to swap that catastrophic guesswork for proactive, smart decisions, cutting waste, boosting profits. It's a big shift.
And that's exactly our mission for you today. We're going to dive deep into how these AI systems actually work, the nuts and bolts, and critically, what's the measurable impact.
Right.
We'll show you how they use machine learning, powerful cloud platforms to really tackle this age-old problem of matching supply to demand in, frankly, a pretty chaotic world.
Okay, let's jump right in then. The big question first. We've had statistical models forever, right? Why is AI actually better than, say, the forecasting tools retailers were using 5, 10 years ago? What's the leap?
The main difference is moving from that stack planning we talked about to something much more dynamic, proactive even.
Yeah.
See, the flaw in older models is they kind of treat data points in isolation. They look at last November, maybe tweak for inflation, but they struggle with multiple layers of complexity happening right now. The key integration here with these copilots is their ability to just instantly process enormous amounts of data. They're mixing real-time weather feeds with super granular historical sales data.
So I'm like everywhere.
Yeah, potentially thousands of locations. So it's not just planning anymore. It's reacting, adjusting almost continuously.
I get the mechanism, the real-time data part, but let me push back a bit. If a human forecaster sees a weather report predicting a mild January, can't they just call the supplier and say, hey, cut the order? What's the machine doing that a smart person can't?
It really comes down to speed and scale. Mostly scale, I'd say. A human can definitely react to a national forecast, maybe adjust the main order.
Sure.
But the AI copilot, it's doing this dynamically, constantly, but at the local level, regional, city, sometimes even down to the specific store. It's not just asking, will January be mild? It's linking the forecast for this specific zip code to the buying habits of people in that zip code who bought similar stuff before.
Wow.
And it's doing that for every single product, all at the same time. That level of precision lets retailers do things like shift stock between stores, tweak production instantly. It's a granularity and speed that, a human team just can't replicate manually.
That's a critical difference, not just looking ahead, but localizing that look ahead. So what's the actual tech engine making this possible, handling all that data so fast?
Well, what's really interesting in the material we looked at is the specific machine learning technique they highlight, LightGBM.
LightGBM.
Yeah, it's not some generic algorithm. It's a specific, very powerful gradient boosting framework.
Gradient boosting. Sounds pretty technical. Why that particular tool for seasonal retail? What makes it special?
Think about the data seasonal retail spits out. It's massive, right? And it has what we call high dimensionality, loads of different features. Temperature, rain, snow, past sales, competitor ads, store location. You name it.
Right. Tons of variables.
Exactly. And traditional models, like simple linear regression, they kind of struggle to find the complex, non-obvious patterns in all that noise. LightGBM, though, being a gradient boosting method, it's specifically designed to build complex predictive models really efficiently. It often does this by combining lots of weaker, simpler models in a clever way.
So it's not looking for one perfect formula, but combining thousands of smaller insights very quickly.
You got it. Its real strength is chewing through huge data sets incredibly fast while staying highly accurate. That makes it perfect for spotting those sudden, sometimes volatile jumps in seasonal demand.
Like Black Friday chaos or...
Or, yeah, a sudden run on raincoats because of an unexpected week-long storm in one specific region. LightGBM is built to find the subtle signals driving those shifts.
Okay, so the whole picture is the AI uses this powerful LightGBM engine, feeds it super local historical buying patterns and up-to-the-minute weather forecasts,
Mm-hmm.
and out pops a really accurate dynamic prediction of when and where demand is going to spike.
And that prediction fundamentally changes how you manage inventory. It stops being just a fixed cost sitting there
Yeah.
and becomes a dynamic asset you can adjust. That adjustment capability is how retailers dodge those huge holding costs that just bleed profit.
Right, let's talk about the payoff then. Brass tacks. For anyone listening who needs to understand the ROI on this kind of tech investment, what are the specific measurable wins retailers are actually seeing? We need numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. The source material lays out 4 really clear, specific metrics. First one, reduced overstock. Because these tools can predict demand with much better local accuracy, they've been shown to cut excess inventory by up to 20%.
20% less waste. That's huge, isn't it? Especially when retail margins can be so thin. What's that 20% actually mean on the financial statements beyond just, less stuff cluttering the warehouse?
Oh, it hits 2 major expense lines hard. First, holding costs. That's warehouse space, insurance, the cost of capital tied up in that stock.
Right.
Second, markdowns. If you traditionally order 100,000 winter coats and only sell 80,000 at full price, you lose a ton of margin trying to shift the last 20,000 with deep discounts.
Yeah, the clearance rack effect.
Exactly. If the AI helps you avoid ordering, say, 20% of that excess in the first place, those holding costs shrink dramatically, and the need for those painful profit-killing markdowns just evaporates for that portion.
Makes sense. But good inventory management isn't just about having less stuff. It's also about having the right stuff in the right place to actually make the sale, right? What's the second big benefit?
That leads perfectly to the second one. Improved allocation and a resulting sales boost. Knowing you need 100,000 units nationally isn't enough. You need to know which store needs 50 and which needs 500. By optimizing where the stock actually sits, making sure products are in the right stores in the right regions, just as demand peaks, maybe predicting which coast gets hit by the first cold snap, this strategic allocation can lift sales by up to 15% during those key high-demand windows.
Wow. So that's a powerful combo. Cutting waste by up to 20% and boosting sales by up to 15% just by putting things in the right place at the right time. That feels like it fundamentally changes the competitive landscape.
It really does. It pushes the conversation beyond just being more efficient. It gets into actually winning market share.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the third benefit, data-driven decision-making. Because retailers get this constant stream of real-time environmental data and sales insights, all synthesized by the Copilot, they get what you might call actionable intelligence almost instantly. Meaning they can make smart adjustments before a demand surge or slump actually hits. Like imagine diverting a truckload of barbecue gear that's already on the road because the forecast for its destination suddenly shows a week of unexpected freezing rain.
So they can pivot immediately instead of waiting weeks for sales reports to tell them something went wrong.
A crucial difference, yes. And finally, the fourth key benefit they mention is scalability. All this optimization is great, but it's useless if the system crashes when your business grows.
Good point.
These AI systems are typically built on major cloud platforms. Think Microsoft Cloud Platform, AWS, Google Cloud. That underlying infrastructure means that as a business expands, as its data sets grow from millions to billions of points, the system can scale right alongside it. It can handle the increased complexity without slowing down or losing accuracy.
Makes the initial investment feel more future-proof then, which is vital if you're a growing company. Okay, so if we bundle all these gains together, less waste, more sales, faster decisions, scalability, what's the overall hit to the bottom line, the financial health?
The sources tie it together nicely. A 2025 retail analysis found that businesses using these kinds of cloud platforms and machine learning tools like LightGBM have already documented, on average, a 10% improvement in their overall profit margins.
10% margin improvement in retail.
Yeah.
That's transformative. That definitely shifts these AI copilots from being some kind of tech luxury to potentially an operational must-have.
I think that frames the challenge perfectly. It really raises the question, is this tech going to be table stakes for survival soon, or just an edge for the biggest players?
So let's talk about that. What does all this mean for the future of retail? Are AI copilots basically going to be everywhere? Is it inevitable?
Well, just based on the environmental trends alone, you'd have to say the reliance on this kind of dynamic AI-driven optimization is only going to grow.
Because of the volatility.
Exactly. Like our sources point out, consumer habits are shifting faster than ever, and let's face it, weather patterns are getting increasingly unpredictable year over year. The old spreadsheet models just weren't built for this level of churn and risk. They can't keep up.
Which means if a retailer tries to stick with the old ways, they're basically signing up for double the risk of either getting buried in inventory or missing out on huge sales opportunities.
Precisely. The conclusion seems pretty stark. Retailers who invest now in advanced AI copilots and the solid data infrastructure needed to feed them are going to have a massive competitive advantage.
A sustainable one, it sounds like.
Yeah, they'll be the ones making informed, agile decisions almost minute by minute, while their competitors are still scratching their heads, trying to figure out why nobody bought shorts during that unseasonably cold spring. In this kind of market, making smart decisions faster than anyone else is the ultimate advantage.
This has been a really insightful deep dive. We've really unpacked how this focused AI can tackle a problem that's plagued retail for decades. We covered the tech piece, that LightGBM engine, the strategic power of mixing real-time weather with super local history, and those really striking results, cutting waste up to 20%, potentially boosting peak season sales by 15%, and that incredible 10% bump in overall profit margins.
Yeah, and understanding this stuff is becoming pretty critical, I think, for anyone trying to grasp how modern businesses stay profitable and efficient when things are constantly changing. It's basically the new playbook for navigating retail volatility.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. If AI can get this good at predicting demand for, say, coats or barbecue grills based on weather and past behavior, where else could this apply?
Good question.
Think about other fields heavy on resource allocation, things that depend on logistics, public works planning, maybe even just managing your own complex personal schedule. What other services or infrastructure could benefit from being allocated almost instantly based on real-time environmental data combined with historical patterns?
Yeah.
The potential seems to go way beyond just what's on the clothing rack. It feels like it's about anticipating the needs of the world as it changes moment by moment. Lots to think about there.